Do you hate budgeting? I know everyone does. It's not the most fun thing to talk about. I enjoy talking about this stuff, but I have a hard time getting clients to want to budget. So today I want to talk about the method of reverse budgeting, which is kind of like the easy button when it comes to budgeting, cash flow management, monitoring how much we're spending. So I want to show you kind of how to think about budgeting from the easiest, least maintenance perspective, but still doing our diligence of making sure we're spending within our means and also putting money away towards our goals. So how do we reverse budget? Well, first, we want to figure out what our take-home income is, okay? What is that take-home income after our paycheck? If we're paid $200,000 a year, what is that take-home income? Or if it's 20 grand a month, what hits our paycheck in our bank account every single month? We want to automate all saving in accordance with our goals and needs. So that's automations maybe before it hits our bank account toward things like a TSP or a 401k, maybe an ESPP, maybe an HSA, depending on if you're working at a civilian employer or not, and you're able to do that. Even after it hits our bank account, in a perfect world, we're automating contributions to IRAs, maybe taxable brokerage accounts, maybe high yield savings accounts that are saving for a down payment on a house, our next car, a down payment on rental real estate. So these are all automations that are hopefully happening in our financial system. So it doesn't require our human brain to go in and send this money to smart places, because it probably won't. That's at least what the data shows us. After we do that, we want to have a number that we target on the first of every month in our checking. So if it's $10,000, if it's $15,000, whatever that number is, we know that all of our saving is happening before it hits our bank account, maybe on the first or second of the month after it hits our bank account. And then after that, we want to have a number that we know is kind of our level number after we pay off our credit card bill from the last month and we send money to smart places, ideally through automations. And then we just want to be confident that after that, we're spending the rest of the money. We haven't even talked about like groceries and shopping and all the budgeting categories. This is the easy way. This is reverse. We're talking about saving first, paying taxes. We're making the money, we're paying taxes, we're saving. And then after that, we're spending the rest and we're having fun with it. We're confident with it. We can know, maybe looking at our bank account once or twice a month, if that cash number is going down, we know there's a problem, we're overspending. If it's staying relatively the same, we can just sleep well at night knowing we're spending perfectly in line with our financial situation. If it's going up, well, then we're doing a really good job of saving. We're maybe not spending enough. We need to find more things to spend it on or find more money to save. So I want to show you an example of how this reverse budgeting would work in practice. So here's an example client, estimated gross income of $264,000. That's gross, that's before taxes, right? Monthly, that breaks down to a little over 22 a month. So for this client, let's start with figuring out the three things that we know, or at least we control. Two of them are somewhat fixed, right? That's debt and taxes. We can change that savings amount, and then the spending we can also certainly change. So taxes, right? So let's start at the bottom. If we do estimated tax projection using some tax software, we can, depending on their income last year, we can get this off last year's tax return. There's lots of ways to do this. You can Google, maybe TurboTax has a somewhat decent estimator. In my practice, we use a software called Plan to project out taxes for our clients. But let's just say it's $3,100 a month for taxes. We know that number's pretty well dialed in. Estimated debt, right? So that's pretty fixed. We know that number. That is $3,000 a month. If that's the mortgage. Maybe it's a $2,000 mortgage and a couple $500 car payments. Hopefully not car payments. That's a separate episode. I'll do a separate episode on car payments. But we know the tax number. We know the debt number. Okay, these are fixed. We know those for sure. Let's take them off the table. Eliminate that noise. Okay. Estimated savings, $5,000 a month. And that might be an outside calculation of maybe if this couple wants to retire at 65 on $15,000 a month, we would just do a time value of money calculation to come up with, hey, based on what they have now at 35 and reasonable rates of assumption for growth, how much they need to put away each month and each year to get to that $4 million number at 65. So let's just say that's $5,000 a month. This is a pretty typical number for a high income couple. This is $60,000 a year. And typically what this is for a lot of folks is this is maxing out both Roth IRAs and maxing out both employer sponsored retirement plan 401ks or TSPs. And that's how you hit that 60 grand number. Knowing that, and this is automated, right? We're doing Roth IRAs and we're doing TSP and 401ks automated from the paycheck, max every month. We're doing the math for that. We're also doing Roth IRA contributions every month, or maybe we're doing it in January if we've got the cash. We've taken care of taxes. We've taken care of debt. We've taken care of savings, doing the math, knowing that we're going to reach our financial goals, doing exactly this. And this income number is only going to go up. Now, how much is left over? Let's put spending down at zero for a second. We know we've taken care of savings, debt, and taxes. We could spend $10,960, right? And know that every single month we're taking care of business. That's kind of that reverse budgeting method right here. A good example. We know what we're paying in tax. We have our debt number under control, super healthy. We've got our saving automated and it's in line with our goals. 23% is also super healthy. We can be super confident spending 10 grand a month and sleep well at night and just be totally free to go spend on things that we love, travel, food, time with family, whatever it may be. So a couple caveats with this. So this couple, right, if they just go and watch their bank account and say they have a 10 grand in their checking that they want to maintain, they know that, hey, we're spending way less. If that number's going up, we're spending way more than that 10 number if that number's going down. A couple caveats. Some people obviously need to save less or more right up here based on their age, health, right, all those things. This number can and should change over time. It's really just a best guess at this point. Another caveat is with the spending. We know that if this couple spends 10 grand a month, they're not necessarily going to spend 10 grand every month. We've got things like property taxes. We've got things like, we book summer vacation to Europe and it's going to cost 7 grand. And so these things are going to happen on an uneven schedule. That's where maybe some budgeting software comes into play, maybe a sinking fund of sorts. Maybe they have that at USA, maybe they have that at whatever financial institution. And they know that maybe we're going to pay all of our non-monthly bills, things like big chunks for travel, property tax, things of this nature, out of our savings account. So maybe we can do the math on what that will be on an annual basis. Say it's 12 grand a year we're going to spend on these non-monthly things. And then every month we can automate some checking going into our savings of about $1,000 a month so that we're taking care of that and we have the money for that. So that's the only caveat with this. Obviously, we want to monitor our spending and look at that checking account number every month. However, months aren't even, right? We have things like Christmas. We have things like certain months in the summer where we're traveling more. And then we have some down months where we're not going to spend that $10,000 number. So we always just want to be cognizant of how our spending is going to wax and wane throughout the year. But overall, I hope that this was a helpful overview of reverse budgeting, how we can be intentional about our money, but not necessarily have to go into every single little category. If we're taking care of business, we know how much. We have a healthy debt rate like this couple here, 14%. We know what we're paying in taxes. We have a healthy savings rate in accordance with our goals. We know that we can be confident in spending the rest and not have to get so granular about our budget. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Thank you for joining us today. Do you want the exact financial planning framework that I use with clients? Go visit baskinfp.com where you can grab a free download of the ultimate military and veteran financial checklist to give you the bluff on what you need to be doing to manage your finances. We'll be back next week with some more content to help you on your journey to financial freedom. See you then. This is a friendly reminder that the Bluff Finance Podcast is general and educational in nature and does not constitute tax, investment, legal, or financial advice with respect to any particular individual or taxpayer. Please consult with your own tax, legal, financial, and other advisors regarding your own unique situation.